Hello YouTube, this is Shylock once again, and this is part 2 of, somewhat delayed part 2 of my Follow the Samurai Let's Play for the Choshu faction. And last time we have taken 2 settlements within the first 5 turns, I believe. And this video I'm going to attempt to take more, although we'll see like in 20 minutes how well that works out for me. But yeah. So here, after taking Aki, my army was really beat up. So as far as the foreseeable future, I cannot really march on anybody. So I'm getting one declaration of war, and this is from one of the factions adjacent to me, and another. This is from the green guys who helped me take Aki last time. Well, they took the Aki for me, basically. They did not really help me, they took it for me. There's somewhat of a distinction there. Help would imply that I worked at it too, in which case I didn't. So, now I'm facing enemies from 2 fronts. Like I said, with my beat-up army, there really isn't much of a chance for me to go anywhere. I'm just gonna have to defend for now, and most of these retainers are not all that useful. I mean, buffing your general stats, like, might be somewhat alright in the very early game, but later on it just falls off so hard that it's not even funny. So I'm just gonna take anything that isn't buffing my that buffs my army or something else instead of my generals. Here I'm using my geishas as spies because I really don't have anything else to use for now. Knowing what the enemy has and whatnot can be very useful. You see the shorelines on this game? It's very trolling. You see that city right there? It's just outside of my bombardment range. Everything is. It's like, I'm pretty sure the game developers intentionally designed it that way, so that when you tech up a bit, you can actually hit the cities. But until then, balls to you, you can't. So, I suppose this one is already becoming very MrSchylock-ish, meaning not a lot of aggression, just sitting back and building up. This is kind of what you have to when the initiative has been when the initiative has been more or less taken from you. I cannot really attack anybody and expect to win. Well, I could, but then again, I'm facing enemies on 2 fronts. If I attack one of them, the other will take my city, and that's no bueno. So. Not much I can do here. So, both the blue and the green have, if I remember correctly, have marched 1 army into my lands. And within this turn, I will have to fight 2 defensive battles. Yeah, well, both for Aki, of course. Since the AI is play their turns out sequentially and not I mean, one after the other, not both at the same time. I can face 2 smaller armies rather than 1 larger one, and that, as you will see, is going to be a huge boon for me. So my money is running a bit short. I'm going to have to pump military for the foreseeable future, and not much more can be due for now. To bolster my economy a bit, I'm going to try to trade with people. Tosa is an imperial clan that sometimes goes shogunate, well, based on my experiences at least, playing this game, so I gotta be a little careful with them, but money is always money, and money is good. As for how things look right now, this campaign is going to be a bit more extended than the 2 I have shown so far. The reason for that, I think, is I did not get such a good running start out of the gate, per se. I mean, for the other 2, by now, I was significantly stronger than the AI, than the AI's powers. And here, well, I'm about the same, or maybe even a bit less. So, this is the first of the defensive battles. I'll get back to my point in a minute, and I mean about the relative strength in a minute, and I'll talk about this here. I see the AI has split its army into 3 clumps. 2 of the clumps are kind of hard to swallow up, and the last clump is formed mainly of levy infantry. as you all know, those infantry are very bad in a melee, and I'm gonna take advantage of that. I'll have my ranged units stay within the fort. So I'll leave a couple of melee infantry in there to defend when the enemy scale the walls. And for the rest of the melee infantry, I will take them outside of the gate and take out that levy infantry blow up and do some flank attacks later. That's the plan for this battle, and you'll see what happens in a minute. I'll get back to my point about relative strengths and whatnot. Like I said in the past games, my past two commentary videos, a series, I mean. But by turn 5 or so, I was already much stronger than the any AI really, and I could take on several of them at the same time. Here, not the case. I did not get such a good start, basically, even though I was pretty aggressive. The problem here is, I think, well, in addition to everything I said last time, for instance, you start with a lot less relative to the previous early Total War games, money and troops both. When you attack enemies, they spawn garrison units, and that your economy is a lot. Everything in your economy is a lot more expensive relative to how much money you have. And one thing I did not really include last time that I find is very essential here is that marching distance on the campaign map. Back in the previous Total War games, it usually takes like 1 or maybe 2 turns to march from one place to the other. Usually 1. Here, I'm gonna have to deal with like 3 or 4, 2 or 3, 4 or 5. 1 turn marches are very rare indeed. What that does is it slows down blitzkrieg campaigns drastically. For instance, if I could march on one settlement every turn, I could be doing that. I could be up to 5 settlements at this point. I mean, taking 5 settlements at this point. And during that time, and the longer I delay, the longer the AI has to build up, and the longer I delay, the less the less settlements I take, the weaker my economy will be, the less troops I will pump, etc. etc. So, and another thing, the long marching distances makes reinforcing really difficult. Like for instance, if I'm gonna build some troops in my home province, that's gonna take at least 4 maybe 5 turns to reach the front. By then the difficult fights are gonna be over. So it's not, yeah. So this long marching distance for between the settlements, I really I want to call with CA Bravo on that. A relatively minor thing that basically patched the whole blitzkrieg thing of your previous games. Well, not really patched. It just made it much more difficult. I overlooked at how important it would be last time, but So here, I'm going to talk a bit about how I plan to defend the scaling units. Since the AI doesn't all come up at the same time, that in and of itself is going to give me somewhat of an advantage, because I can bring a greater portion of my army onto bear of a slightly less portion of the AI army. And I'm gonna abuse something that CA intentionally did with this game, is that friendly fire is almost non-existent. So I'm gonna have my melee infantry in front, and then I'll have my gunnery units in the back. And since when they shoot, they don't really kill my own guys, I can just have that works. And I'm gonna try to leave a gap here or there, small enough so that the AI troops doesn't get through, and large enough so that my gunnery units can shoot through it. And by doing that, this kind of a double-pronged attack, the AI morale drops precipitously. The AI almost treats it like a flank attack, combined with the fact that they're scaling the walls, so that a very small amount of their men is actually fighting with a much larger amount of mine. Their morale breaks rather quickly, even though this is very hard, of course. This battle is kind of bloody. My units are most of them are half depleted by now. This is something that you kind of have to deal with. They will, given time, replenish, of course, but I cannot afford too many casualties if I want to push forward. So this might be a victory for me, but not the kind that I would really like. Since my overall plan for the immediate future is that after I fend off these 2 attacks, I immediately counterattack. In order to do that, however, I need to preserve most of this army, keep it intact, so that as soon as these guys are dead, I can move into their home territories. And of course, the couple of factors I mentioned earlier is going to make my life hell. One is that it takes a couple of turns to march over there, and during that time, the AI can hire up a brand new army, almost 6 or maybe even 8 units. And so by the time my beat up army gets there, it will probably be inferior once again. Even though I can probably win battles against superior armies, I cannot win battles against armies that are way too much superior to my own. And with every battle, my army gets more depleted, so that eventually I'm going to have to stop and take a rest and whatnot. So, and here the AI troops are scaling the walls. I am taking them in the mouth and in the behind. I mean the front and the back. I have guys up there shooting and meleeing, and I have guys down below. So this is only a matter of time before this is over. And this army is crushed. Nothing more of this will be seen for now. So looking at the unit cards, my spear levies have taken very severe casualties. I did not use my line infantry very well. Neither did I use my levy infantries very well. And Matchlock Hachi, well, I never use them very well. Even though this, I think, was a decisive victory, this was not very decisive in my book. So, well, we'll take a look at the victory screen once this loading screen is over. If I wasn't lazy, I'd probably cut all that out, because no one wants to see that, right? But so here I have the kills. Not very orgasmic, I would say, but it'll get the job done here or there. Here's the second army. This one I see is composed mainly of levy infantry, and what levy infantry suck at is a melee. So instead of going out and pouncing on a couple of units, I'm not even gonna bother. I'm just gonna have everyone stay inside the fort, and as soon as they climb up, I would annihilate them. The same thing I was doing last time, of course. I'll have my line infantry and my levy infantry man the walls where the most enemies are gonna come. I'll have them each fire off one volley and then retreat. I don't need them to take casualties on the wall. And that brings me to another point. These guys are retarded. I mean, okay, just hear me out for a second. When you're on the walls and you take a shot, why don't you? And then you have to reload, of course. Why don't you crouch when you're reloading? That way you don't get shot. But these guys doesn't do that, and they just. Well, I know that probably crouching during reloading is gonna be is probably gonna lead to a higher reload time, but still, it might be an option worth considering sometimes. Like take a shot, crouch, take a shot, crouch. But then again, that's kind of a moot point, I suppose. So the AI has once again split its army, but I'm not gonna pounce on a smaller group because I learned from last time that even though I can probably successfully do it, it'll cost me a lot of money in the process. Traditional armies charging a modern army is gonna be very bloody. I just learned that. So here, I'm just like once they climb the walls, I'm gonna have I'll meet them with a lot of spear levies and whatnot, and then I'll have my shooter infantry in the back, abusing the fact that friendly fire is almost non-existent in this game. I'll form like a killing zone in that little square I have right there, and now it's just waiting for the AI to close in, slowly and slowly and slowly. So I probably should cut this part out, huh? Like usually I just make these commentary videos like 20 minutes because as soon as it gets too long, I just run out of things to talk about, and it gets repetitive and whatnot. So and I don't, and to this part, this far, I think I've done a pretty good job with that. We'll see though. It might not be the case in the future, or I just might be able to, or maybe I just can talk for longer periods about nothing. In which that's a pretty useful skill. I mean, even my carrying over into real life, but we'll see. So here I have, like I said, I have 2 killing boxes. I'm just waiting for the AI to come up. As for my unit choices, though, I for this before I get any modernization points, I usually like to run spear levies until I can either capture a traditional dojo or a cadet school from one of the provinces I take. That is if I get it early enough, of course. And if I get it too late, I'll just get if I don't get one until pretty late, I'll just build one myself. And basically, my army is gonna consist of a crap ton of spear levies because I consider them to be much superior to levy infantry. Levy infantry have craptacular reload and accuracy, and craptacular morale. So even though they do have guns that are pretty good on the first volley, after that they just fall off so hard, so hard. So and since Spear Levy during this time get 2 bonus experience chevrons, I mean, why not? It's probably a better deal. Unless you use too many of them, of course. So over here, I've routed like 1 army group, and now I could concentrate all of my troops on the other side. By moving off the walls, I have gimped the AI's best source of damage, which is shooting. And since levy infantry is absolute crap in a melee, this is not gonna last too much longer. One thing that I kind of don't like about this game is basically the lack of unit variety. One thing that made Rome so very great is that different factions play very differently. But like this game though, like everybody, well, usually there's only 2 choices really. Whether you bring a traditional melee heavy army or a modern gun heavy army. And there isn't much of any other choices besides that. But in Rome, however, like the Romans play very different from the Greeks play very different from the Egyptians, and the Egyptians play very different from the Parthians. It's just the variety there allows for all kinds of different strategies that would work. It just makes for a very varied and very interesting gameplay that offers tons of replayability. For this game though, well, to be completely honest, I'm already getting kind of bored with the same thing over and over. But then again, it is a good game, much better than others. Dragon Age 2. So anyways, another thing is this game. I like how some other games, in order to make everything balanced, they just make everything overpowered so that everything is viable. And a quick example that comes to mind is Diablo 2. This game though, in order to make that balance, I think it's a lot of nerfs. Well, whenever something gets overpowered, it gets nerfed, and that might be very good for balance, but it might not be so very fun for playing. Sometimes you just want to take those overpowered units and destroy people, right? Granted, it's probably not very fun to be on the receiving end, but still. So here, my guys are opening fire. The enemy is charging forward, and before they can get to my gunmen, I have my melee infantry intercept them and slaughter them. This one's almost over. I drop rallies and inspires when they are needed, not when the enemy closes in. It's probably rather noob-tacular, but it works for me. I'm gonna see if those general units get away. I don't look. Yeah, that's another thing I don't really like about this game. Even sometimes when you win the battle, uh, the AI units generally get away at a much higher rate than the original Shogun 2. This is the expansion to differentiate between the two. I mean, so I'm just gonna make sure to kill as many as as I did there, and that was a heroic victory for me. Even though the kill rates are nothing too spectacular. I beat up 2 armies, but my army is very beat up as well. I don't know if the counterattack will work out very well, but in any case, I'm gonna attempt it. So here we are. Shinshi gained the level, and same thing. The same thing is happening all over the place. So I'm probably not gonna go after the green factions right now. I see with my geisha there that the blue guys have almost nothing. So I'm gonna recruit up some units, I think, if I remember correctly, and move the majority of my army up north, and then I'll have some guys defend here. Enough so that the green guys can't will find my castle a suitable tempting target, but they won't be able to take it once they attack. What I'm doing here is very useful, I think, to conserve movement points. Since the general is on horses, he has a lot more movement points than your infantry. And what I usually like to do on the campaign map is to move my infantry within reinforcing range. Keep them on the road, of course, so they get them as many movement points as possible, and then have my general go and attack. That way my infantry can reinforce, saving their movement points and allow me to move further on the campaign map. And like I said many times before, it literally takes forever to move from point A to point B in this game. So every little bit is gonna make your life so much better. I'm gonna make a hypothesis here that if you just use that little trick I had right there, your game is just gonna go much faster. It'll shave down at least maybe 10% or maybe even 20% of your turns until victory. Just small things here or there can really add up eventually. Like at this point, I was getting a little disappointed. The kind of hipster blitzkrieg campaign that you guys are starting to like is kind of getting gimped in this game. So, but then I'm gonna try my best to speed this along here or there. Well, like I said before, if you're seeing anything noobish with my gameplay, point it out, and it'll probably help me and make your viewing a bit more enjoyable, I would say. And this is not the end of the video. I know I usually talk about stuff like that towards the end of the video. I have one more battle here, and that's for a I'm gonna get attacked by one of these blue armies. Like, this is the point I was making here. Last turn there was the blue guys had nothing. This turn, well, they have something. And in like Rome or maybe medieval, in one turn I could march and take the settlements. But here, not the case. Before I even get there, there's another huge army waiting for me. So this almost make the things almost kind of futile. I'm gonna get another geisha here to go take a peek at Bungo. Information is very important, even though it might not seem so. So my reinforcements, they're gonna take forever to get to where they needed. Again, a very conscious decision on the game developer's part, and salute, I suppose. So, and I'm gonna end the turn anytime now. this is a first. Then well, at least in as far as my videos on YouTube go, my number of settlements is actually smaller than the number of turns passed. Never has this happened before, but this is a first. Goes to show how much the AI has improved over the number of Total War games and game design as well. Here I'm attacked. I can fend this off. The question is how much casualties I will take, and by taking those casualties, will I be able to push forward afterwards? We'll see. It might work or it might not. So I looked around the battle map a bit, and this place is this place in terms of terrain is probably the best if I want to engage. I'll keep my light infantry in the trees on top of a hill too, which is coincidentally on top of a hill. Gives them a better position to fire from and a very good place for cover. I'll keep my melee infantry off to the side so that they won't eat too much fire when the engagement happens and they charge. I keep my army. I keep my general on the reverse slope of the hill so that he takes no bullets. Bullets will not kill him because they will just go into the hill when the enemy tries to shoot him. This is what the English did to the Republican Guard, to the Old Guard at Waterloo, and what the Continental Army did to the British in Mel Gibson's The Patriot. And here, the enemies in range. They're initially going for my melee infantry, which is positioned behind the hill, so they'll take minimum damage from the bullets. But then again, my line infantry started firing, and that draws aggro like a tank in any MMO. The enemy just immediately goes for them, and that's the signal for my infantry to charge. I forgot that on the Yarikachi there's probably like a rapid advance ability. I just never remember to use it. So that's one thing you don't have to point out to me. I'll just try to remember next time. The AI has spear levies charging for my light infantry. I was thinking of kiting them a bit, but I moved them a little too late, so I'm just gonna have to stand in place and sandwich them. I'm gonna take unnecessary casualties from my light infantry, of course, but that's okay. That's okay. So as soon as those guys get behind, this is more or less over. And my melee infantry is rolling up the enemy flank, so it's only a matter of time until this thing's over. So, as usual, if you'd like to make any comments or suggestions or whatnot, feel free to. This is still a relatively small channel after all, and I can read and respond to everything. I know it's been somewhat of a delay since my last video, and well, to be perfectly honest with you guys, I just wanted to do something else other than Total War, something on Total War related. And if of course during that time I was doing a bit of gaming, other stuff. If you guys want to see like let's plays of other games, I'm more than happy to oblige. And yeah, here I'm just chasing that routing units. Not the most exciting thing in the world, and I'm pretty sure I say this every single time I run into this kind of situations. But yeah. Okay, so this is almost over. We'll take a look at the results screen in a minute. I'll cut out all these loading screens next time. Even though it's a lot of work, I think it will make these videos flow better. So the enemy got away, even though I won that battle. A lot of them did. I'm very unhappy at this moment. Yeah, even though my general gained a rank. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this, and I guess I will see you next time.